I'm Jeffrey Hayzlett, author of the best-selling book, Running the Gauntlet and the Mirror Test. I'm a cowboy and Twitterer and hang out with a lot of business people and do a lot of different cool things with people in business. I think the biggest thing for most small businesses is to get out there and get engaged, and that's the most important thing. There's a lot of your customers that are online, that are out in social media. It's everywhere. Obviously, you know, when you look at the numbers itself, it's gone there, but this is really a game not about the numbers, but about hearts and minds, and about getting engaged with those customers that you care to build a community with, and that's really what social media is all about. I tell most business owners the first thing you should do is crawl, walk, run. You don't have to think about building up to millions of followers, because probably never going to get there, or maybe even thousands of followers. But if you just start, and that's the most important thing, by putting your toe in the water and making the water ripple a little bit. That's the first thing you've got to do, is just get started. So sign up for a Twitter account and just start following some of those people that you like the most and watch what they do and copy that. Or other Facebook pages or Instagram or wherever it might be. Get out there and just start with crawling, and then you'll learn to walk, and then you'll learn to run. Well, a lot of business owners think this is going to consume their time, and it's really not. I know I'm a very active Twitterer. I'm a person who does, a number of tweets per day in Facebook. But I really find about an hour a day is all I really need to be able to do that. Now, most of my leads, and I'm B2B, so most of my business is business to business, and we run a public relations firm and a marketing firm. And most of my business is coming, those new leads are coming from social media. So if I weren't doing that, what a loss that would be for my business, and it only takes about an hour a day. So set aside, maybe you want to start with 10 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day, but just start with something, and you'll find it doesn't take very much to be able to do it, because it's about the engagement, and once you start to engage, you'll find that it's very effective for your business. I think a good thing for big business is to remember that there's no difference between a small business and a big business, just the number of zeros behind it. Now, I was the very first person who came up with the term chief blogger and named the very first chief blogger ever. I also named the very first chief listening officer ever in any major corporation around the country. But we always put those people up front, that is people up front, because people want to do business with people, not just with companies, and they always have relationships. So you want to make sure that the people that you're working with, that in large companies, that they really develop their own personality, and that personality is representative of the brand. There's lots of tools that are available. Some of them are free and some of them cost you. You can do everything from something free like Hootsuite or TweetDeck, which you can get, easily through an application that you can download on your phone and follow your followers, follow yourself, see what people are saying about you, or keywords that you want to know, maybe your competition, because that's a good one to watch. So there's some free tools that are out there, but there's also some that you can buy. And you can get from, say, Radian 6 or from Salesforce.com, and a lot of other tools out there that we like to use. And one of those that we use is People Browser. We like People Browser. We also like to do Cred and Clout and find out what Cred and Clout scores are about the people that are following us, so that we can gauge the influence in our community. So there's lots of little things that you can do, but the best thing you can do is probably friend source that. Is go out to your friends and ask what they use, and then start to use those yourself and find out whether you like them. If you like them, stick with it. If you don't, go get some new friends and find some different tools. When you look around influence, there's a number of people that influence me personally, but always it's your friends. I mean, that's the way I look at it. In my last book, Running the Gauntlet, termed friend sourcing, because I really believe that's a real critical thing right now. And it was from a number of years ago when I was working in a label plant, looked out in the parking lot and saw half the cars in the parking lot were red. And that got me thinking, why? Well, that's because we tend to associate with things around us from our friends. And so I'm looking for people like that. And so I look for subject matter experts in various different domains, whether it be in tech or marketing or sales or legal or HR or leadership. And I try to find those people I think are the best, and then get information from them. So events like Blog World or New Media Expo, those are great events to come to, because it's where everyone's gathering to talk about what are the best things that are out there new in this particular marketplace. So I can learn new things. I can walk the trade show floor, get to see some new vendors, some products I've never seen before. I get to run into people. In fact, most of the time I never even get into the actual seminars and workshops. I only get a chance to talk to people in the hall, but that is valuable for me as well, because I get to meet people and see people who are doing this day in and day out, and these are the experts, and then friend them, and by friending them, get to learn more about what I can utilize in my business. So, expos and conventions and conferences where you can gather with like-minded people are really critical for business owners. In 2013, I'm focusing, like most people should be, is on growth, growing your business, finding the ways that you can change the things you're doing today in order to get where you want to in the future. And you do that by growing your business, and that comes from really focus. real keen focus for your business.